strapped in tight and taking flight. Seniors held on as they zip-lined across Camelback Mountain Resort near Tannersville. One of those brave souls was first-timer Ruth Marshall. Why did you want to go ziplining?
I know someone told me I could. I'm only 97, so he figured I could do it.
The seniors came all the way from a retirement community in Bucks County. For the past 3 years, senior citizens from the place in Doylestown have come to Camelback Mountain Adventures with one goal in mind: ziplining.
Actually, one resident a few years ago just said out of the blue, you know, I always wanted to zip line, and we're like, what? And we're like, okay, so we had to make it happen, so we did.
This was Claire Bamford's first time ziplining, and she's looking forward to the next time.
Just left out a little yell when I got started, but then I enjoyed the view.
It takes 70 seconds for zipliners to get down the mountain, and that's about a 900-foot drop. Richard Miller says this experience was similar to his days as a paratrooper, but a lot calmer.
The view is unbelievable at the top and then coming down, and the whole thing is really fun.
A little bit afraid of heights, and I thought it'd be frightened, but just so strapped in all, I felt perfectly safe. I didn't even feel a flutter of fear.
For Ruth Marshall and other seniors, facing their fears led to an experience they won't soon forget. If you look up in Weatherly, chances are you'll see the clock tower high above the Mrs. Charles M. Schwab School in Carbon County. The former school has been perched high on the corner of Main and Spring Street in the borough since the early 1900s. The clock tower high above the Schwab School hasn't worked for decades until the people of Weatherly stepped up.
Disheartening the fact that it's in the state it's in. Encouraging though each and every day, because something positive happens and you can just see what it's going to be again.
Charlie Palermo heads the Schwab School Restoration Project. He says repair costs are in the thousands. The hands and faces of the clock that were worn down over a century replaced by a nearby clock company. Borough officials say the clock tower didn't run for more than 20 years. Now that it's up and running, people here in Weatherly say it adds to their sense of pride. Palermo graduated from the school in the late 70s.
As if I'm half the man I think I am. In addition to my parents, I think what went on in that building during my time of education there helped form me as a man.
I think it really is an example of the life that's coming back into the school. A lot of people think of that school as the lady on the hill.
Mayor Tom Connors says the former school could end up as a community center once repairs are complete.
I'm excited. The fact that the Schwab School bell's going to ring for the first time in 20 plus years is amazing for our community.
Officials in Weatherly plan to ring the bell at Schwab School at noon this Memorial Day. Wet weather was not going to stop the first Fish for the Fallen Derby at Patriots Cove near Knoxon. 4 teams made up of mostly veterans did their best to catch trout during the competition along Beaver Run in Wyoming County. As a veteran, Jeff Swire says the goal of the competition is to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Those of us that know we've lost our brothers in combat or other places fighting fires or out on our streets in our communities, the goal is to never let them fade away.
Organizers say Patriots Cove is a place for veterans and their families to unwind.
Men and women always ran to nature when they came home from battle because it was peaceful and calming. It felt safe, it felt natural. Here we provide that very same thing. We get them back out into nature, show them that they can still do some of the things that they thought they couldn't do before.
Navy veteran Ken Foster isn't an experienced fly fisherman, but he ended up landing a 12-inch brook trout.
The company has been great, so that's kind of what it's all about for me. Spending time with other people that get to know other folks. My guide, he was in the Navy too, so we got hit it off that way, and we're able to interact and tell some sea stories.
As veterans tried to land trout, their guides carried pictures of 4 area servicemen who had fallen in the line of duty. Jack Cleary lost his son Michael in Iraq.
Of course, that means a lot. And my son Mike he loved to fish. Mike was killed in action in 2005, and he loved to fish.
I think just being out in the nature, and just that connection, and just thinking about those folks that have made this, done that so that we could do things like this. we tend to forget things like that sometimes, and we need to be remembered, you know.
Tracker, Kodiak, and Tucker. These 3 German Shepherds are treated like any other dogs, only for them playtime is mostly behind the walls of a state prison. Their handlers are inmates. It's all part of the Pause for a Cause program at SCI Waymart.
I just want to change the way I am and help change other people's lives. I think this is a great way to do it.
Since November, 6 inmates have been working with the 3 dogs, training them to become service dogs for veterans.
You're helping somebody really in need, I think, is the coolest part, because it's like I said, you're surprised at how much a dog can do. Like, I didn't know a lot of this stuff that I'm learning here, and just to see the results in a way is just awesome.
Kodiak and his handler demonstrated some of the skills they're working on, from retrieving an item to creating space for a veteran in a crowded setting.
To basically help them get through a normal day for anybody else, and because it's harder for people who have PTSD or autism, you know, to train a dog to do these kinds of things, I think is just really cool.
These guys really want to be here, and they really want to participate in it, and it's the inmates we have in the program really want to be here for the dogs.
Officials at SCI Waymart say Tracker, Kodiak, and Tucker could be finished with the program in the late fall, being one step closer to helping a veteran. Alan Vickers, Newswatch 16, Wayne County.
Now, the Eagles are less than 5 hours away from unveiling their first Super Bowl banner during the home opener in Philadelphia.
Newswatch 16's Alan Vickers has been in Philly all day with fans excited to see the world champs kick off this season. And Alan's live now from Lincoln Financial Field. Hello, Alan.
Hey, John and Julie, I'm here down in South Philadelphia right now. There's a sea of green behind me. These Eagle fans are out and about right now. There's been hot dogs on the grill, and fans have been tailgating all day. Now, they say that the Super Bowl is in Atlanta this year, and that's where Eagle fans are trying to go for this season. It's been an exciting one because they captured their first Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, and they're excited for their second.
Guess I'm going to take it all in. I know it's going to be a record breaker for how many times we're going to do EAGLES. And I'm just ready. It's just going to be so electric in there.
Now, for fans here, they have to be inside by 7:30 for all the pregame festivities. For those at home, kickoff is at 8:30. Alan Vickers, Newswatch 16, live in Philadelphia.